everyone. It's your favorite artist, Bryn Cogorno. I am here today to give you a tutorial on how to use Adobe Sketch. It has been something I've been wanting to do for the last few days, and I am finally sitting down at my desk. I've got my iPad. My little Frenchie puppy Harley is sitting underneath my chair, probably gonna snore anytime soon. So if you hear that, that's Harley, not me. Anyways, so let's jump in real quick. This is probably gonna be a series of 3 videos so that I can break it into smaller chunks and show you some tips and tricks on how to use Adobe Sketch. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm using an iPad. It's an older iPad. It's probably a 2012, a 2013, something like that. It's an iPad Air. It's old, so I'm not using the Apple Pen. And I recently got a stylus. This is the one I got. I will show you what it looks like. I just recently ordered this on Amazon, and it was about $10. It's pretty cool. It's dual tipped. You've got 2 different areas to use. So for today, I'm going to be using the end that looks like a microphone. All right, so we're going to dive in, and I will find the Adobe Sketch app. The first thing you'll want to do is download the app. For those of you who don't already have it on your phones or your iPads. Now, you don't need a pen, a fancy stylus like I have. I wasn't using one for a very long time. I just ordered this about 2 weeks ago. So you'll download the app, and then you'll open it up, and you'll see the screen. Now, you won't have any projects here, so you'll probably see this blue plus sign, and you'll see a couple different things, and you're gonna hit that blue plus sign, okay? Now, a bunch of little icons are gonna pop up here. Don't get overwhelmed. Take a deep breath. These are just your layout that you wanna work with. Now, let's say this is something that you're wanting to print down the road, or this is something you just want to purely have fun with, then there's obviously different, routes you can take. I have been wanting to, I've been thinking, well, I might want to turn my artwork into a note card line or some prints to sell for my business. So I really like this print category, which is down here. They have small, large. Let's do the large postcard, okay? All right, so I select that. I've got a new little window here. Now you can use your thumb and your index finger here, and you can pinch your drawing board. And that's really nice because now we can see our piece of paper rather than having it be kind of taking up the whole screen. And I am actually, let's see, normally when I work, my brushes are over here. I'm not really sure why they're down here. Let's go to, I probably hit the wrong one here. No. It's still there. It's still there. Okay, let's go back here. This should work. I don't want to move my iPad because I just got it all perfectly set up for you guys. All right, so you'll see on the bottom, we've got a couple different brush tools. And over here, we've got, these are our layers. Now, those of you who are new to using a program like this, layers are basically, they're kind of, think of it as just new pieces of paper. If you were going to draw by hand, they're just, every time you grab a new layer, it's like grabbing a brand new piece of paper to draw with. So, quick overview, a couple things. So you've got layers, you got brush tools. You've got up here, it's kind of hard to see. I know it's kind of hard without me having to be able to zoom in. You've got a couple different buttons. This arrow that looks like kind of like when you're in the car, you want to make a U-turn. Now that is really helpful. Let's say you make a mistake. Let's just pretend like, you know, I went like this and I was like, oh no, I don't like that, man. So this is like, oh no, I want to go back. So you just hit that and it erases it. It's pretty handy. Now this is gonna hide your layers if you wanted to have more workspace to draw or to work on your piece. And you've got this square with the arrow, so many of you probably know this is your ability to share your piece after you're finished. For those of you who've seen my time-lapse videos on my Instagram or my Facebook page, and you're wondering how I've been able to make those, after I'm done with my art piece, by pushing that box with the arrow, there's a time-lapse button down here. And this program's, what's cool about it, there's so many really cool things about it that I really like. But one of the things is that it has a time-lapse feature. So after you're done, you can click that time-lapse feature and it lets you save every single, like you basically lets you save your art piece. Now this program, it will remember every single time you lay down a mark, anything on paper. It remembers every single thing. Really, really fun. So obviously I don't really want that. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to go back. I'm going to make a U-turn. What else we got here? So a little crank, the little wheel here. This is going to just show you your format. So it shows us that we're in the large postcard mode. We could rotate the canvas 90 degrees if we wanted to. We could add grids, which the graph mode is actually really nice. You can explore. Honestly, I always say just start with the basics and have fun. Have a lot of fun because this is a really fun app. So you can even have your kids draw on this. I would say, I mean, I've had my niece who's 4 draw on this. It's pretty, kid friendly. It's really fun. All right, let's dive into those brush tools. So we've got an eraser. We've got a watercolor. I'll just kind of show you each one. So this is the watercolor. Now you can be using your finger. You don't, like I said, you don't have to have a stylus. If you have your finger, you can definitely press each one. You got 3 kind of things you want to focus on here. The little circles. So one on the bottom is color. This one in the middle is called flow. So it's going to show, this is all about transparency. So by holding this down and going up or down, I can change the transparency. And you can see there's a number there and it's showing you that we're at 62% or 50% transparency. I will give you examples of this. Now, with a color, we have color here, and when you press down on your color, you're gonna get a color wheel, and you can choose a color of your liking. Now there's a cursor down here, and it allows you to go dark or light. You can also pull this up and, have more of a pastel color, or your process, like your more hotter, like warmer colors. So we can kind of we'll start with like a dark blue here, and we'll change the transparency. We'll just kind of decrease it a little bit. Now the top, this little one right here, the sky, this one, so again, you're gonna hold your little cursor on here, and you can change the size. Basically, it's changing the brush size. So this is going to be really small, and then this is like medium, and as you can see, our brush size is getting much, much larger. Now we can go back and change the color like I was saying, and you can lighten it up. I like working large with the watercolor tool. It just really makes it interesting, and sometimes I like to get the whole background completely covered in one color, and then from there I like to maybe lighten up the color, and again, like playing around with transparency. So if it's max like 100%, then it'll be thicker. But if you change the transparency, it allows you to layer color, which I think is so interesting. You can play around with brush strokes. So again, not holding down your stylus or your finger, and really just having some fun with this. Don't forget to change the size of your brush. Even as a painter, that was my background in college. My teachers always stress the importance of switching up your paintbrush, so not using the same brush size, and really switching that up. So we will move on to a different brush. Now we've got this thick painterly brush, which is really fun to work with. I think those of you who have a painting background are really gonna love this because it's pretty fun. Okay, so let's go to this blue, and we'll do full transparency. And we'll kind of do a bigger brush. Okay, so watch this one. This is just like basically really thick paint. Oops. So again, if I don't like it, I can go back. Wanted to think about what I wanted to do for a moment. I kind of need to make this fit here better. Okay, so I'm thinking that we should do something like a cupcake. All right, so let's draw a cupcake because it looks kind of like a cupcake, kind of a paint. Actually, we should do the top of a cupcake, and then it would be kind of fun to switch our brush tool, and we can go to the next, we'll switch it. You guys like cupcakes? What kind of cupcakes do you like? Red velvet. We could do red velvet. Red velvet would be fun. It's kind of like a red velvet color. Something like this, I guess. Okay, so doesn't have to be perfect, right? And then let's see, we can go to the watercolor tool, and let's pretend like this is some sort of pink. I have been really into the color pink lately. I have just really been loving the color pink. I'm not so sure what's drawing me to use the color pink, but it's not normally my favorite color, but I kind of like it. I'm digging it right now. Be careful of the watercolor tool. It does bleed. There's a little fan button here. When you push the fan button, it's going to help the watercolors really blend and run. So if you're wondering what that was, that's in a nutshell what it does. So let's go back to that thick paint and add some sprinkles. Now, this would be an opportunity. I've been playing with using, now if you went too far back, I used to think, oh no. Now if you were to hold down on that U-turn button, you can actually go a step forward. So I went back, and well, I can go forward. So that's what that does, just to let you know. Now this would be a great example for me to show you to use a new sketch layer. By doing a new sketch layer with our sprinkles, it is going to help us in a really interesting way, and I will show you in just a moment. So maybe we can add some white sprinkles as well. Maybe some smaller sprinkles, like a bakery sprinkle. And then I would like to go back and maybe add some color to the cupcake itself. So maybe adding like a light red or something, maybe even, let's see, so pink, red, now red's complementary color is green, so pink's complementary color is going to be like a turquoisey color, which we've kind of used in the background, so I'm going to do a new sketch layer and I'll show you why. Okay, so I wanted to add color to the background of our cupcake, the base, and I added a new sketch layer. I'm able to hold my stylus on this and actually move it. As you can see, I'm moving this layer below the cupcake layer. Now it should, I'm not entirely sure if it worked the way I wanted it to. It didn't quite work. I'll have to show, I'll share that in another video. Now the sprinkle layer, you can see I moved it below the cupcake layer and it's disappeared. But if we put it above, it shows the layer. I'm not sure, I'll have to get into that another time. If I had done the background as a layer and then the cupcake as a layer and then moved this down, it would have actually put that beige behind our darker red lines. Really interesting. Anyways, so you have basically a bunch of different brush tools. You have an eraser in case you make a mistake or in case you want to go back in and clean something up. You can make sure you're on the right layer because you might be trying to do something. Now this one, you know, I don't need to erase anything, but you could even use the eraser tool as a way to write. You can let's see, let me think of something. Let's see. Oh, I guess we'd have to be on that one. Never mind. Okay. Such a different thing talking it out loud. So I want to write something. So I'm going to grab this tool and I will grab maybe like a dark purple and I'm gonna change the flow. I'm gonna write something, so I want a smaller brush. Now I've got a new layer here, which is really helpful. Sometimes, you know, some things don't always work. That's why you just play around with it. The nice part about it being a layer is that you can completely get rid of it. So I tried just for fun sticking that below here. You can see parts of it, but you can't really see it. So really, honestly, I started using this and I didn't have a lot of experience other than the fact that I just loved, I was really loving painting on here and not having to use paints and supplies. Now I want to sign my name, so that was a new layer, and you can click that layer and hit transform, and you can make your name smaller. You can move it. You're gonna hit done. I like to do new layer for the date. Again, you're gonna tap it, hit transform, shrink it to the size that you need it. Hit done. Now you can hit your date layer and you're gonna hit merge down, and now your signature and your date are one layer, which you can tap again and hit transform. And I can move that, I can make that bigger and put it where I want it. So now you can see my name and the date. And that's it in a nutshell. In a nutshell, you guys. Trying to keep these videos not too big, and this is new for me. And you know, I'm not exactly doing a lot of editing, and I'm just having fun. I'm trying to see if I can help you just to see how simple it